I am only good enough if I achieve these goals, if I constantly work towards these goals. But how can you be good enough for something if you haven't even defined exactly what that means? You are walking away from your happy endings by creating unnecessary thinking patterns that do not serve you so it can feel more exciting. Do you see how she's literally lying there? Like, she's like, ugh. Like, I can't do this. Like, she's in this position of like, I'm a princess, please rescue me. I'm so helpless. But you're just not helpless. You're just putting yourself in that position because you feel like it's more exciting and you're bored. Creating unnecessary scenarios in your head that don't need to be there. Like, you could be happy about it, but you decide to dwell on the past and not leave this thing alone. And just put yourself in an unnecessary tower that doesn't have to be there. Because then you start overthinking. But also discard. Discard was here. I didn't explain the context of discard yet. So discard was here basically because there's not actually maybe somebody that has their eyes on you. Yes, there could be. I'm not saying I couldn't. But in this sense, it feels like more like you are actually putting ideas in your head that don't actually make sense, that don't actually have to be there.
Mm-hmm. So I just imagine that other people are so critical about me. Like, it's just not true. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that could definitely be part of it, 100%. What other people? Yeah, no, that makes sense. If that's what you do, if that you think that other people are thinking of you that way, and you are telling yourself that, because Page of Pentacles reverse is all about, like, it's laziness, underachievers, snobbery, procrastination. So it's all of these things that, like, you tell yourself, but you could also be telling yourself, oh, these people, that's what these people think, and be putting yourself in like, oh, that is what these people think, but it's not really what these people think, it's what you think. It's what you think these people think, which is, like, not an actual, like, representation of reality. Okay, so a tower is basically a form of transformation where everything old has to go away so the new can be built upon it. So every old behavior has to leave so the new things can be built upon it. And when I said unnecessary tower, I still feel like, okay, this tower is somewhat necessary in the sense of, like, you need to realize that you can't keep doing this to yourself. Which is, I feel like it's gonna be putting you, like, in some sort of, like, negative headspace where you're just gonna be absolutely like, okay, I don't know, I can't do this anymore, like, I need to actually be nice to myself. Or you're gonna have some realization moment, or maybe you already had a realization moment where you were like, I can't keep doing this to myself, I can't keep treating myself that way. Or, like, just put these thoughts into my head when there's absolutely no need for these thoughts to be in my head, where there's no need to overthink something when everything is fine, like, literally everything is okay. So if you keep doing that, like, there might be a moment where you will be put in a situation where it's just like you have no choice but to heal this, or you have no choice but to think differently, because it's gonna.
No, I get it. I have talked to friends about it, but I definitely have a problem where I just am far too critical and also project a lot of my own, like, critique on other people. That they surely think about me like that, whereas it's just not true. But I feel like I'm learning that is so hard because I feel like I don't have a reference for what's normal. So every time I feel, like, content with myself, it's just, oh, am I okay? I'm just being too lazy, or, like, I'm too easy on myself.
Well, I think the reference is, or what could be the reference, could definitely be your values. If you anchor yourself in your values instead of, like, oh, what do other people think is normal? Because other people also do not know what is normal. Nobody knows what is normal. Everybody has kind of their own view of what is normal. But what you could do instead of thinking, oh, what is normal, or what is the thing that I'm supposed to do, is just anchor yourself in your values. Like, do I think that I did enough work? Do I think? And then when you go into, like, oh, you know, like, like don't compare yourself to other people in that sense. Like if you do that, don't immediately go compare yourself to other people, because that's just going to put you in this whole cycle again. What you just want to do is compare yourself to yourself. So am I happy with the results that I've achieved today? And then be very discerning with it. Like, have I rested enough? Like, have I, like, you know, like, you don't want to be your own slave slave trader. Like, you don't want to, so you want to be nice to yourself, but also like anchor yourself in your own values and not anybody else's, or like of what is normal, because you're gonna figure out eventually what is normal, you know, like you're gonna get there, but you're not gonna get there by just taking everyone's opinion and making like a general opinion of it, because that's always gonna change. But what's not going to change most likely, or what's unlikely to change, if it changes, that's totally fine as well in the future, because it's your values, it's what you value. So if you go by that, you can't do anything wrong, because you went with what you value. So you know that you did it right, because that's important to you.
I see. That makes a lot of sense.
It's been for too long that I have to strive for something. Yeah. It's hard to unlearn that. Yeah. Okay, so striving for something in a sense that if you don't, you feel lazy. Like you can't just exist, is what you mean. Yeah. Like you can't just exist, you always have to do something to reach for something that's higher than me. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Or you're worthless. Great mindset. Okay, let's see. You always have to be developing. I know that feeling. Okay. That's because you're putting yourself in comparison and competition with other people, which was last week's topic, funnily enough. That's because you're comparing yourself to other people, because other people have achieved more, or you should achieve more because you've seen it's possible. But just because it's possible doesn't mean that, you know, they have completely different lives than you have a completely different starting point than them. That doesn't mean that, you know, and you constantly feel like you're not transforming enough, you're not doing enough, you're not that person enough where you can be like, oh, I can finally rest. I don't think you have you defined for yourself what good enough means?
No, never like what's good enough, I would say. Like always, or something in the distance. Yeah, a lot of times.
Yeah. But have you defined what the thing in the distance is? Like,
yes,
what do you do it? How do you redefine it? Do you just grab something new every time? Do you take something new every time? Like
something new every time.
But if you do that, do you then define exactly what that thing is? Like, how do you, like, okay, tell me the current thing. You said that you're always striving for something in the distance.
No.
And that thing right now is your grades. You want good grades.
Oh, I have a lot of other goals. Like, I feel like I have too many goals.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was going towards. That is what I was going towards. I want to hear the exact goal that you have defined for yourself in one sentence right now. What is the goal?
Oh my god, I cannot do that. I feel like I want to do as much as possible.
That's where the problem is. That's the problem. Because the subconscious belief that you have created for yourself is, I am only good enough if I achieve these goals, if I constantly work towards these goals. But how can you be good enough for something if you haven't even defined exactly what that means?
Yeah.
That's a trap that a lot of people fall into. They want to have a goal. Like they say, for example, let's take New Year's resolutions. They say, I have this New Year's resolutions. I want to get fit. But that is not a goal. There is nothing that is a goal about this sentence. I want to get fit. What does that mean? There is a lot of different ways that you can be fit in. There's a lot of different ways that you could have muscle. Does be fit, does that mean that you have a certain amount of muscle? Does that mean that you're very slim? You go on a lot of runs? Like, what does that mean for you? Because it could literally be anything. So when you don't camels actually, what the fuck? There's so many ways that you could fail. But when you define an actual goal, like for example, that is an actual goal. I want to go to the gym once a week. You know if you have kept that goal or not. That's trackable. You can track if you've been to the gym once a week. You can't track if you're fit, because you have never defined what fit means. You also haven't set a deadline. If you say, I want to go to the gym once a week, that's a deadline. Once a week. Maybe it's even better if you set a specific day, so you can try to go on that specific day. Maybe also set another day, so you just have, like, if that day doesn't work out, you can go another day. But that's just like that's very specific thing that you could like set a goal as. And it's also like, if you don't do that, like, most of people fail. That's why 95% of New Year's resolutions actually fails, because people do not know how to set goals correctly, or they just take on too much too fast, or they say, I want to go to the gym 3 times a week, and then they go to the gym 3 times a week for maybe a month, and then they miss two times where they go to the gym, and they're like, fuck it, now I missed too much. Like, now I didn't do it, and now I can't do it anymore. That's because they just took on too much. They're not giving themselves any, like, downtime to actually achieve the goal. Yeah, so I would suggest, through this whole thing, just actually writing down what it is that you want, like, in an exact way. Not like, I want to be fit. I want to go to the gym once a week. Yeah, of course you're going to keep beating yourself up about it if you set yourself, like, unachievable goals. Of course you're gonna feel bad, and like, you always have to strive for something if you make it unattainable for yourself.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I have too many goals. I have too many things I want to be extremely good at, and that's also the main thing. And I think I do write things down. I think the main problem is I haven't determined, as you said, a metric on how to measure it in a way that it's doable for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would just pick one thing and then really prioritize that thing, because also, if you have a lot of things, I would really look at that list, make a list of all the things that you want to achieve or that you want to do, and then really go through that list and just be like, what do I have, like, what do I want to do, and what do I actually are willing to make sacrifices for? Because a lot of the time we want things, but we're not willing to make the necessary sacrifices to actually get these things. So if you are not willing to make the actual sacrifices to get this thing, I'll let you in on a secret, you don't actually want it that much. So then you can prioritize, what do I actually want? And then you can list these things put these things on a list again, and then you can be like, what is the most important thing that is, like, the most desperately that I want to do out of all of these things? And then you take that one, and then you write an actual goal that you can actually track. It has to be trackable. That's really important. It has to be trackable in some way.
Yeah.
And then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And maybe if you've implemented the first goal, you feel like you're comfortable with that, like you don't have to think about doing it anymore, you just do it, then you can think of the second goal, and then you can think of the third goal, and so on.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But it's like the same thing all over again, but I think, especially with this one, you told me specifically, how to not be so hard on yourself and blah blah blah, because a lot of people have that problem, yet at the same time it's not as easy as just be less hard on yourself, because it is such an intrinsic mechanism that's so baked into your mind.
Yeah, obviously it's subconsciously in there. It's not just a belief that you have, it's also an identity that you have created. So you gotta understand, everything that you do that is basically not in line or in tune with this identity is very uncomfortable, because you have been this person all your life. So to actually be something different and make change and transform is obviously going to be uncomfortable. And your body and your brain and everything in you is going to try to push you back to discomfort in no matter what topic or situation you're in. So you have to prove to your brain that it's actually safe. But you can't do that without doing it uncomfortable. You have to push through discomfort, because you cannot actually do it comfortable. Like, yes, you can do it like a little bit at a time. Of course you can, and even you should, because if you go into too much discomfort too fast, that's also not good. Because then you teach your brain, oh, when we do this, it's actually not safe. And then we're doing the opposite of what we're actually trying to achieve. There's like the middle ground where we find ourselves, and not too much, not too little.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Are you home now? Like, how far away are you from home? Like,
home. I'm actually home right now.
Oh my god. So we just spent Terror Tuesday on our way, like, from work in the train, and now we're home. Perfect. Yeah, and now we're also done with the reading. Perfect. Hi, this is Kat Taro here. In this video, Kitsune talks about always needing something bigger than her, always wanting to achieve more than she has right now. And I believe that also relates to the topic that we will talk about next week. So if you related to that, definitely consider checking out this video that you see displayed right here. If it's not uploaded yet, it will be uploaded next week. So stay tuned and see you next time.